Hey everybody, it's Andy from Heads and Tails Sailing Reviews, and I'm back with you for another review. And today we're going to be talking about Ryobi battery-operated power tools, why they're the ones you should have on your boat. So let's get to it. Well, I've had Ryobi tools for well over 10 years, and I bought an entire set of them and sold them, and bought another set and sold them along with another boat. And I bought this set. Now, I think these are the tools you should be carrying on a boat. Some of them aren't necessary. It's because if you've watched my previous videos, the projects that I've taken on with boats required a lot more boat building tools. So for instance, the little circular saw is great. It has a very thin blade. It does eat up batteries pretty quickly, but it cuts aluminum. It's great. So whether you have this one on board is depends on what you do. I like to build wooden dinghies and stuff, and I'm hoping to do that again in the future now that I'm on catamaran number 5 in 2 years, project number 5. This one doesn't require any structural work, so the circular saw isn't getting much use. The little palm sander, this is amazing. This thing has massive amounts of power, and I wish it had a suction device. But if you hold your little shop vac, or the Ryobi vac, which I have a little dust buster sort of Ryobi vac, that works very, very well. Hook and loop fasteners. Of course, all of us on board should have a grinder, and the Ryobi grinder, I've loaned it to other sailors. It takes a ton of abuse. Right now I've got a sanding disc on there because I replaced a couple through hulls, and I just need to grind the raw fiberglass off, but it cuts through chain, wire, stays, and so I keep the cutting disc on it while we're sailing, and I keep a battery in this one in case of emergencies, because it can bash through anything. I know safety-wise, those of you that are watching are going to say, oh, hey, you've got no safety card on there. Well, in the emergency, I think the safety guard for me has been in the way before. So I'm sorry, safety-oriented people, but I didn't quite get there. The drill driver. I had a dedicated driver before when I was building my boat, just an impact driver, and it was great for driving hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of screws. But for just doing your job, this thing just keeps going. It's actually pretty miserly for the batteries. It doesn't use up the batteries too harshly, but it is a good drill. This one's getting near the end of its life. The chuck is going, so I often replace the chuck or get it fixed somehow. Ryobi's very good at doing warranty and customer stuff, so don't be afraid. And also the tools I consider are like higher than medium duty for a home user. Some tools you spend $1 billion on them because they're for the professional guys. Well, my friend Martin in New Zealand, who owned a welding and aluminum fabrication business, he used Ryobi tools for years and years and years, and that's why I bought them, because they just never failed. And he was using them on a daily basis as a professional. Hey, if that's good enough for that, that's good enough for me. And mine have lasted me, my drill and impact driver failed when I was building my Richard Woods Gypsy, only because I kept grabbing them with fiberglass hands, and they eventually got so gummed up that they wouldn't work. Now, what I think is the #1 Ryobi tool that you should carry on a boat, and I only discovered this one later, was the multi-tool. So basically, it's the actual engine of it is this, but it has all of the replacement heads. Now, a couple of these heads aren't from Ryobi, and I bought them only because I couldn't get the Ryobi head at the time. These ones were from Rigid, and I got told this by one of the sales reps that the Rigid heads fit the Ryobis, which they do, and they work just fine. But if I could have got Ryobi heads, where I was, I would have grabbed onto them. Now, this is awesome. Everybody's seen one of these little multi-tools on a boat. This is priceless for cutting into areas where you can't get a saw or a jigsaw, handsaw. It goes really quick. Comes with different options. like that. Has a safety switch on it. Right now I've got a little sanding disc for doing the insides of the through-hole holes that I cut. This is awesome. You know, when it just hooks onto the Ryobi, so I'm trying to do all this one-handed. It doesn't work so well sometimes. Go on, get on there. There we go. And then it just fires up and runs. So we'll just give it a crank up here. Safety switch on. You know, so that is invaluable. This is a driller, and I use this for not so much, well, drilling when I have limited space and I can't get my drill in, but I put grinding adapters on there, sanding discs, like I have an adapter here. I just put that on there. It's lower speed, so you don't get so much dust going, which I think is fantastic. So this is another one I use a lot. In fact, I ran it so much on my last boat, the Warham cat that I redid in England, that I actually had to get another one. It burned out on me. Jigsaw, of course, nobody should be out there without a jigsaw. You know, this one has changeable blades. It goes really well. I use this for most of my cutting duties if I don't have to have the circular saw out. It is. But the number one saw, of course, is the Sawzall. You know, you put your blades in here, and it can melt through anything. It's, you know, like having a hand saw, but multiple a billion times. So I've used this a lot in dismantling things and cutting metal with the hacksaw blade option, fine tooth blade option, and just for chopping through wood like really, really quickly. So this is a good one. Also works good if you have to reach in somewhere to cut and the jigsaw won't work. You know, you can put a thin blade on here, you can actually cut a circle. So for me, the multi-tool would be the number one to have on board. Of course, for safety's sake, it's the grinder cutter, you know, so you can chop through stays and your anchor chain and all that stuff if the things get jammed in an emergency. But this one tool, if you had to just have one, this one tool could do it all. You can put the hacksaw blade into the Sawzall and cut through it fairly quickly without too much trouble. So if you're there and you're looking for tools, Ryobi tools, they last. They're fairly inexpensive, and I'll put some links in the down below to where you can get them on Amazon. That's, you know, where I bought mine, because one price is way lower than going down to my local hardware store. And not all stores carry you know, the Ryobis. Sometimes they just carry the big professional brands. But honestly, these have lasted. I've had these ones now for 5 years, and they're still going strong. My previous set I had even longer than that, and they just keep going. I do recommend that you get the larger batteries. I've got a couple 6-amp batteries. I've got one of the small ones, but I've got a couple of 6-amp batteries, and I just keep, you know, one fully charged all the time. You know, you can run them off an inverter. They don't take that much power on the boat to run the charger, and they charge fairly quickly. So I just plug it into a DC outlet onto the small inverter. I've got a little 1,000-watt inverter, plug the charger in, and put the battery on and keep it charged up. So Ryobi tools, hey, you got a whole plethora of them, and I went on their website not too long ago, and there's like, you know, if you need yourself a weed trimmer or a hedger on your boat, then you can get that too. I do have the chainsaw. It came in the kit that I bought, and I didn't bring it out because I thought it was crazy absurd to have it on the boat, but I thought, you know, it came in the kit because all the tools came together, and it was a way better bargain than buying one tool. So do get out there. It's 2 thumbs up from Heads and Sails Sailing Review for Ryobi tools. You know, I'm sure there's other great tools out there. We're not sponsored by Ryobi in any stretch of the imagination, but I thought this would be a good thing for people to know. I constantly bump into sailors who have cheaper versions of tools. You know, they've got the real home kind of battery-operated tools, and they just don't last. You know, they're quarter of a season and their batteries already, you know, devastated, or the tools burned out, you know, just from doing a few jobs. So get yourself a decent set of power tools on the boat. I know back in the day we didn't have to have any power tools, but now, honestly, it is a good thing to have. So Ryobi And the multi-tool for me is the hands-down winner. If you can only have one, get all the heads for it. I know these aren't Ryobi heads. I do have a couple of them in the hold that I saved for real good use. But these were a little bit less expensive and they were more accessible for where I was, the rigid brand. Then drill driver and the grinder, you need to have those. The palm sander is amazing just because it takes up no space, and you know we always got a little bit of sanding on board, and just pick yourself up a variety of little pads to go on there, so you can take care of any paint scratches or anything. And of course, the circular sock you're going to go deeper and want to, you got to actually do some construction or take out sections of the deck. This one's really good because it cuts very well. It's light, easy to use, has a very thin blade, which helps out. Anyway, this is Andy from Sailing Reviews, and I want everybody, subscribe and hit the bell, like this video. But if you hit the bell, you'll hear when I've got my next review video out. I'm just a guy sailing, and if you've watched my other videos, you can see I've been working on boat projects over the last 5 years. I've built a Richard Woods cat, a long time ago in New Zealand now, a Woods Gypsy, and now I've fixed up 2 warm catamarans. I'm on my second Woods Flicka now. This one, I'll do a boat tour one day for you. This one was built in '99 in South Africa. It's a foam sandwich boat. Mostly as engine stuff that we need to do. It's been on the hard here for 6 years in Curacao, and so I'm getting it going. Hopefully hitting the water mid to late January, and start the Caribbean adventure over again. I'm not sure where we'll go from there, but in the meantime, we're going to take a real-world look at the equipment on a boat, what I've used in the past. Been sailing full-time now for 2 years, so I've had lots of experience. We rarely go to marinas, so we're constantly anchored up. We need self-power, all that stuff. So I'll be doing reviews on the gear that I've used, and an honest opinion of what works and what doesn't work on board. I hope to see you again on the site. And anyway, this is Andy signing off from Heads and Tails Sailing Reviews. Thanks much.